Well, this is going to be a bit different. If you don't know, I usually do Let's Plays, or commentaries if you prefer the term, so I'm jumping into somewhat new territory, even if this type of video has been done by a whole lot of other people, some more qualified than I am, others less so. I think. We are talking about me here. This will either go really well or really poor, but it will be a learning experience nonetheless. So without further ado, I'm Noah Campbell, and let's talk about Mighty No.9. Wait, what? Ah, yes. Mighty No.9, the poster child for bad Kickstarter games. Now granted, I have heard from others that Yooka-Laylee is a worse game, coming from the idea that Mighty No.9 has at least a cursory understanding of its source material compared to Yooka. But I have not played Yooka-Laylee, so I don't know how bad it truly is. We are not here to talk about Banjo-Kazooie, we are here to talk about Mega Man. Before I can delve into the game and its many aspects, I first have to talk about Mighty No.9's storied history. This will not be a full, in-depth analysis of Mighty No.9's history, as that could and has been a video all its own. I will go over the major events that led to the game's release, however, so let's take it from the top, starting at 2010. 2010 was when Mega Man creator and then head of production for Capcom, Keiji Inafune, left the company. This created a rift between Capcom and Mega Man that would not be healed until around 2015, with the release of the Mega Man Legacy Collection, and the subsequent releases of the Mega Man X Legacy Collection and Mega Man 11 in 2018. 3 years after Inafune left Capcom, the new company he created, Concept, revealed Mighty No.9, a spiritual successor to the Blue Bomber. Funding for the game would come from Kickstarter, a website that allows people to create projects and have them publicly funded. Of course, those who fund a Kickstarter get some extra goodies as well. Inafune was looking for only $900,000 to fund Mighty No.9, and instead got around $4 million for the project. In my opinion, I think Mighty No.9 got that amount of money because of the Mega Man drought that was occurring at the time and people's love for nostalgia and throwbacks. It might also have to do with the huge list of stretch goals that Mighty No.9 had, which included extra modes, online multiplayer, ports to almost every console around the time of release, and a full-length documentary. Some people were hesitant with what Concept and Inafune were doing, but many had good faith and a release date was scheduled for spring of 2015. This was despite the fact that in 2014, Concept and Inafune, having already passed the funding goal of $900,000, tried to solicit more money from backers, and when backers refused, Concept and Inafune found money elsewhere. The first delay happened around April of 2015, when Concept announced that Deep Silver would be publishing the game. The new release date was sometime in September of 2015. The blame for this delay was put on the multiple ports for Mighty No.9, as well as Deep Silver having to publish physical copies of the game. Mighty No.9 was then delayed a second time, this time the release date being moved back to February of 2016. The cause of the delay was placed on the multiplayer aspect of the game. Then there was a third delay, with the game being pushed back to spring of 2016. The blame was once again placed on the multiplayer mode, but the real reason was tied with Mighty No.9 using Unreal Engine 3. Finally, a fourth delay happened and the actual release date of the game was given June 21st, 2016. With the game hopefully on its way to release, Deep Silver gave the world an absolute treat with the Mighty No.9 Masterclass trailer.
Hey, you, looking at the screen. Let me ask you a question. Do you like awesome things that are awesome? Then you gotta play this game, dude. It's friggin' cool and crazy addictive, like popping bubble wrap addictive. Check this out. See, that's your dash move. There's a short dash, a long dash, jump dash, spiral, slide. There's probably a dash that makes you breakfast. I don't know.
Great idea. Wait, what?
Point is, you're dashing around like a friggin' moon man, and I love it. Oh, and look at this. There's all these combo moves you can do. Then you can do combos on combos to rack up your score. And I know you like that combo on combo action. But I saved the best for last. Absorption boost. You kill an enemy, and you can absorb their power-ups. Stuff that'll make you faster and stronger, and make the bad guys cry like an anime fan on prom night. So what do you think? You ready to play? I'm ready. No one's talking to you, Vernon! Mighty number 9.
Any good faith that was left for the game was immediately tarnished. Then came even more problems, particularly backers not getting their codes, both Macintosh and Xbox 360 versions of the game being delayed, and the Wii U version reportedly being unplayable. Mighty number 9 not only left a black eye on Inafune, Concept, and Deep Silver, but also left one on Kickstarter, with many people now being dubious of Kickstarter games. And we haven't even started talking about the game itself. Mighty number 9 takes place in a not-too-distant future, much akin to Mega Man. In this future, robot technology has advanced so far that wars and conflicts are no longer fought, and any violence that takes place in the world takes place in the Battle Coliseum. Then, suddenly... every robot in existence goes haywire. It is then we are introduced to our main character, Beck, aka Mighty number 9. He is the 9th robot in the aforementioned Mighty number line, which was created by Dr. William White, and is the only Mighty number not affected by whatever is going on.
Well, we won't figure it out here. We must make for the laboratory.
Under the doctor's orders, Beck clears a path towards his laboratory, which serves as the first level. Along the way, we also get introduced to Cherry Dynamics president Gregory Graham, who blames Dr. Blackwell for the rampaging robots, a separate cyber attack, and is in no way the villain of the game. Nope. No way.
That this isn't our fault. It's that Dr. Blackwell. He's the one behind this. Blame him!
We also get introduced to Dr. Sonda, Dr. White's best friend.
What's the matter? What the bleeding heck do you think's the matter?
And after reaching the laboratory, call Dr. Sonda's creation. It is up to this intrepid quartet to not only find out what is going on, but to also stop the other mighty numbers.
Like every bot in America went completely nuts all at once.
After defeating a mighty number of the players' choosing, Dr. Sonda and White ponder who is the cause of the rampaging robots, with Dr. White casting doubt on Graham's accusations.
Indeed. I wonder why Mr. Graham seems so certain.
The game then follows a pattern, with every 2 mighty numbers defeated a cutscene will play, building the story a bit more. So in order, Dr. Sonda and White question why Call is not affected by the robot virus.
Just a moment. Sonda, has Call been functioning normally this entire time?
Gregory Graham deals with some phone calls and some suspicion is cast upon him.
Oh, a pleasure to hear from you, sir. Yes. Oh, yes, sir.
Dr. White brings up the Trinity Project, which was shut down by Cherry Dynamics, specifically by Dr. Blackwell, when he knows the defeated mighty numbers have some of her code in them.
The fault of a robot I developed long ago. The CDN 1201. Trinity.
And finally, Graham calls Dr. Sonda because the Cherry Dynamics robot factory is pumping out haywire robots.
Oh, it's cranking out hostile bots and we can't stop it!
Confirming. Confirmed.
During this, Dr. White questions Graham on his accusation of Dr. Blackwell and sends Call and Dr. Sonda to the security facility that Dr. Blackwell is at, while he, Beck, and the other mighty numbers go to the robot factory. It's here when we find out that Blackwell is not behind the incident. Graham reactivated Trinity, and Dr. White is the son of Dr. Blackwell, and originally went by Bill Blackwell.
You're Bill Blackwell!
With Trinity absorbing everything in her path, it is up to Beck to stop her, since he's the only one who resists her ability.
Alright, let's do this!
The story of Mighty number 9 is bare bones, like a classic Mega Man game. But Mighty number 9 tries to inject some of Mega Man X's story flavoring, particularly the idea of robot slavery and the evolution of robots. Too bad Mighty number 9 does not even try to explore these themes and just mentions them passingly. The only time it is mentioned is during the Mighty number 8 fight, where his opening speech and his battle dialogue lampoon Beck for following the orders of a human.
Listen to me, Shade! You're malfunctioning! Freedom doesn't require all this suffering!
Emancipation is worth any price, even if it costs human lives.
And in the prison level, where Call asks Dr. Sonda why White created Beck with a hesitation for combat.
I often detect an aversion to combat in Beck's vocal patterns, while I have no such reluctance. Question: why would Professor White include that hesitation in his design? It's illogical.
Besides the obvious reference to both Mega Man and X, it is not brought up again in the story, which begs the question, why even bring up these themes? It's not even getting to the characters who draw the line from wooden to utterly annoying. Beck is your standard Mega Man XP, hesitant but capable of doing great things. He also inherits, as said earlier, the aversion of combat that X had. Other than that, he is no different from his inspirations. This can also be said for Call, who's inspired by both Roll and Alia. Dr. Sonda has very little characterization outside of being a goofball who's good-hearted. Graham is your standard evil CEO, and the Mighty Numbers have little to no personality outside of their quirks. The only interesting characters, in my opinion, are Dr. White and Dr. Blackwell. Dr. Blackwell is built up as this game's version of Dr. Wily, but it turns out he shut down Trinity the first time, as well as stopped a cyber attack that Graham launched. He is cautious, unlike his son. Dr. White, for being an XP of Dr. Light, is different from his inspiration. While Dr. White is very passionate about his work in robotics, he sometimes gets over his head and does not foresee the consequences a design might have. He does tend to learn from his mistakes, however, as seen with Beck after the Trinity experiment. Of course, a game is more than its story, so let's move on to the presentation. Mighty No.9 runs on the Unreal Engine, particularly Unreal Engine 3. While there are some graphically impressive games that were made on Unreal 3, like Gears of War, the Batman Arkham games, and Guilty Gear Xrd, especially Guilty Gear Xrd, Mighty No.9 is not one of those. To say that everything is flat and does not pop out is an understatement. This is especially noticeable during the cutscenes, where the character models barely emote. The game does look slightly better when in motion, mainly because a lot of the faults are not as noticeable. I do like Brandish's level, as it is stylized compared to the rest of the levels, since it starts in rain, then transitions to a tunnel, then sunset. Speaking of emoting, the voice acting is not great. A lot of the characters sound either bored with the material or are ear-gratingly annoying. Call is the worst with sounding bored. I understand that Call's a robot, but that does not mean she should sound robotic.
End that game. Initializing power down sequence. Bye for now.
Characters like Cryo, Dinah, and Avi are the worst with being ear-grating.
Oh, you aren't hurt, are you, Beth? Here, let me put the mic on it. Oh. Yes! The power! So much delicious power!
This just in, ba-da-da-bum, an Avi News special report. I'm above the refinery now and searching for pyro. I'm seeing a lot of flame-equipped robots. Keep them away from the oil, or things could get hot, hot, hot!
Even Steve Bloom, voice of Mighty No.8 Countershade, phones in his performance.
Maybe you can be content serving the whims of these flesh bags, but not me. My first executive order as the first robot president will be to set all bots free.
However, I will say there is a diamond in the rough in Graham's voice actor, Scott White, who somewhat hams up his cliché character.
I blame her creators. I blame the shareholders. I blame corporate society. I blame my parents.
The music, I will say, is a high point. Tracks like Trapped by Laserlight, The Machine Draws Near, and Burning Military Base have a nice techno feel to them. On the opposite end is the final boss track, which is an anime rock aesthetic that makes it bumpin'. The main theme is also a nice techno-jazz production. There are weak parts to the soundtrack, however, such as the music that plays during cutscenes. It is not so much bad as it is forgettable, but the better parts of the soundtrack do make up for the weaker tracks. So, how does the game play? If you've played a Mega Man game before, this will look very similar. Beck can run, jump, shoot, climb ledges, and dash. The dash, by the way, is the most important move in the game, as it's not only your best mode of transportation for a stage, it is also your main attack. When Beck hits an enemy enough times, whether through his main buster shot or one of the weapons he gets from beating a boss, the enemy will have a glow effect around them. Now, the glow effects can be different colors, but when an enemy has this glow effect around them, that is the player's cue to dash into them. Beck does not kill enemies, he absorbs them. Now, you can still buster shot an enemy until it explodes, but that gives the player less points as well as not give any bonus effects. As I mentioned earlier, enemies can glow different colors, those colors being blue, red, green, and yellow. Most enemies, when ready to be absorbed, glow blue, which adds health to a sub-tank as well as replenishes weapon energy. Enemies that glow red give Beck both a damage bonus and piercing ability to his regular Buster Shot. Yellow lets you take less damage, and green increases movement speed. This system even extends to bosses who glow purple when they are ready to take damage. See, every boss has a segmented health bar. When they are hit with either a Buster Shot or their weakness, because this is a Mega Man game so bosses have weaknesses, they don't actually take damage. It is when Beck dashes into them that they actually take damage. Oh yeah, and if Beck can't dash into the boss at the current time, the boss starts regenerating health. In fact, every enemy regenerates their health if they are not dashed into. This does change in one segment where the player plays as Call, since Call can't absorb her foes and has to rely on her weak Buster Shot to kill her enemies. At the end of every stage, the player is ranked from S to C. This stems from in-game bonuses that can be accomplished if a player plays well enough. Some level bonuses include Quick Clear, which means a level segment was completed faster than the par time, to Fine Play, which generally means a player canceled out a boss's attack in a certain amount of time. The ranking system does not do anything besides being uploaded to the online rank, which I don't care for. There's also multiplayer, but I did not play that either. I've also heard that it is terribly implemented. There's also the Raid campaign, which I don't have. So what is good about this game? To be honest, not much. Besides all the stuff I talked about earlier that I liked, I think the best way to play this game is in a speed game setting. If you don't know what a speed game setting is, it is the same as a speed run. Mighty No. 9 is at its relative best when a player zooms through each stage, and the game facilitates this with having a score bonuses, and a ranking system. It is much akin to Sonic 06. Now, I will say Mighty No. 9 is a better game than Sonic 06, but both games are at their best when doing a speedrun on them. I also like some of the Mighty Number's designs, particularly Mighty No. 8 Countershade and Mighty No. 7 Brandish. For Countershade, I like his Western sniper aesthetic. It is like a bandito in a Western film, and I love the cowboy Wild West style. The same can go for Brandish, just replace cowboy with ninja. I know that Brandish is this game's version of Zero or Proto Man and is unoriginal in that aspect, but I like ninjas with big dumb scarves. Just look at Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden or Joe Musashi from Shinobi. Even Strider Hiru rocks one. It immediately elevates a design in my eyes. Also, he wields the scissor blade, and I have a fondness for Ryoko Maltoy that is only matched for my fondness for Satsuki Kiryuin. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, big dumb scarves are great because they can add a contrast to a character and make them stand out a bit more. It also allows for cool scarf physics. But other than that, let's get on to the bad parts of this game. There is a lot I could potentially talk about here, such as everything else I have said earlier, the fact that all but 3 weapons are useless, the game's love of instant death traps, the story that tries to say something but does nothing, the voice acting, or even some of the bosses have instant death attacks. But I think my biggest issue is with the dash mechanic. The fact that it is Beck's main attack facilitates a lot of bad design. Mostly that comes down to either bosses regenerating their health, which again, every boss does that, or just bad enemy placement. Sometimes enemies will be bunched together, forcing Beck to either slowly hit every enemy in a group so he can dash through them, or cut his losses and take a hit. Most of the time, I cut my losses and take a hit because it's much easier to do that than deal with the enemies. It also does not help that enemies are placed in such a way that dashing at the wrong time might lead to your death. I like the sense of speed that the dash gives, but putting so much importance on the dash hurts the game. In Mega Man X, the dash is used as a means of movement. That is all a dash should be used for. The game is also still kind of buggy, not as much as it was on release, but there was a glitch that happened when I defeated the final boss, but I was not allowed to absorb her and I was stuck in a dead game. In conclusion, I do not think Mighty No. 9 is the worst game I have played. Now, the process that led to its creation might be the worst development cycle ever, but Mighty No. 9 is average at best. Now, it does get bad. Trust me, it does. I would not recommend this game to anyone other than Mega Man fans, which I can't really do that now because of Mega Man 11, or people who want a good speed game. but it's still better than the likes of Postal 3, Bad Day LA, or any other shovelware for the Wii and Wii U, because Mighty No. 9 at least has a basic, if flawed, understanding of Mega Man. I would still avoid this one, unless you tell your friends to gift it to you so you can play it for YouTube or something, but that's probably just me.